Hello, today we will once again be looking at the Cambridge IGCSE music listening paper. We are diving right back into musicals. So we're looking at Western art music, and I have done a video on musicals before, a musical extract that came out of a Cambridge IGCSE past listening paper. So please be sure to check that out. I do go through what the structure of the paper is. So right now we're just going to jump right in to our past paper. It comes directly from the Cambridge School Support Hub, which I have linked in the description below. So you can go ahead and follow along if you would like to. You can go ahead and download past papers, mark schemes, grade thresholds, as well as examiner reports, which is very exciting. Today we're looking at the June 2019 paper 1-3 past paper. We're looking at a section A1, so it's the very first section that came up in this past paper. So we're diving right into the questions. They do give us an extract from a piece of music for both voices and instruments, so we know what's about to come up. The first question they ask of us is, which of the following melodic intervals features prominently in the introduction? So we're going to have to tick one of the options that they give us. They also tell us that the accompaniment begins with an ostinato pattern, which means it's a repeated pattern. So they say to us, in which line of the words does the shape of the ostinato change? So how does the shape of this melody, this repeated melodic type of progression, how does it change? When does it change? In which line does it change? So we have to give a line number. Luckily they give us line numbers according to the lyrics, so we just need to choose line 1 to line 13. One of those will obviously be the answer. Then they ask of us which type of voice sings lines 2, 4, 5 and 8. And of course, according to voice groups, we know that we can either have a soprano, an alto, a tenor, or a bass voice, or voices. So one of those four we'll have to choose. We just have to listen properly. Then they ask of us to name the instrument, which plays at the end of lines 7 and 9. So we have to keep an ear out there. On the next page, they ask of us, what features of the music are typical of a waltz? Now the word waltz does come up in the lyrics, you will see, and of course they're now telling us explicitly this is a waltz. So what kind of the features of a waltz are made known to you through this extract? Lastly, they ask of us, from what type of work is this extract taken? So of course they give us some genres there. We can cut out some things according to what we hear, but also we can tick musical, because this is a musical extract, I'm telling you right now. But of course we will hear it, it will make itself obvious, we can tick musical. But also, if this was just given to us and we were blissfully unaware of what it was, we could just say, is it a concerto? No. Oratorio? No. Symphony? Already we can discard symphony, because the symphony would be for an orchestra only. So they tell us already we're going to hear something for voices and instruments. They even give us lyrics, so that discount symphony before we even listen to the extract. But let's go ahead and listen to the extract and then officially answer our questions.
Now listen to music A1 and answer the questions.
Do I hear a waltz? I don't understand. It sounds like a waltz, but where is the band? A rose is a rose, and this isn't the end. It's me, I suppose. Hold your hat, there it goes again. A remarkable waltz that seems to be real. But is it a waltz, or just how I feel? Peculiar if true, but the Danube was never so blue. Every time I look up and see you, I hear a waltz.
Okay, so definitely a musical extract there. A lot just gives it away, and we'll get into that very soon. So let's answer the questions that we can already answer off the bat by just listening to it once. Some of the questions will need us to go back and listen once more, but let's answer what we can so far. So I'm actually going to answer backwards. We're going to go from question 5 to question 1. Starting right at the back, what type of work is this? It is an extract from a musical work. So now for those of you who don't know, there is a musical called Do I Hear a Waltz? which was first performed on stage in March 1965. And yes, you guessed it then, this very extract comes from that very musical. When we go to question 4, what features of the music are typical of a waltz, we have a few things to say. So, of course, pay attention to your mark allocation in brackets. They do tell us here we will be awarded 3 marks if we so get this question 100% right. So that means we have to give 3 facts for 3 marks. So definitely the whole triple time, triple meter thing comes to the fore here. There's an accent on each of the first beats of every bar. It's very lively. We can call it allegro. It's almost as if we're feeling the music as in one beat in the bar. It's very fast, but of course we know that it's triple meter. There's also the heavy light, or cha-cha in the bass line and in the accompaniment. That's very waltz-like. We also have regular phrases here, which is something that is typically Western classical and typically musical-like because it needs to be easy on the ear, it needs to be singable. We have 1 chord per bar with a very lyrical melody that is very memorable, and you know, you don't have to put this down, but you will find yourself singing it yourself. You will find yourself repeating it, and that means it's a very good melody and very lyrical. So any of those 3 you can put down and Cambridge will give you your marks there. So for question 3, naming the instrument at the ends of line 7 and 9, we're going to listen again. So I'm going to skip quickly to question 2. What type of voice sings from line 2 onwards? This is the female voice. It comes up again in line 4, line 5, line 8. So of course we know that female voices could be soprano, alto, if we just break it down simplistically, but I'm definitely hearing an alto voice there. So we're going to go ahead and write down alto. Then for question 1, when we talk about the melodic interval as well as the accompaniment and where it changes, we're going to listen once more. Then we can answer our remaining questions.
Music A1, second playing.
Do I hear a waltz?
I don't understand.
It sounds like a waltz.
But where is the band? A rose is a rose, and this isn't the end.
It's me, I suppose. Hold your hat, there it goes again. A remarkable waltz.
That seems to be real.
But is it a waltz or just how I feel? Peculiar if true, but the Danube was never so blue. Every time I look up and see you, I hear a waltz.
There we go. Now we can answer our final questions. And of course, I'm just doing another obvious thing that makes this a musical. People don't just laugh at the end of extracts. That's a very musical type thing, where there are alternating sections of singing as well as speaking or even laughing. So I really like this extract, and I'm going to put a full version of this song, just by different singers, in the description below, so you can go ahead and listen to the full song. So let's answer the instrument that plays at the end of line 7 and 9. And of course that is the oboe. We're hearing a double reed instrument there. It is the oboe. So our final question is question 1. So question 1A and B. So let's start with question 1A. The melodic intervals. What features prominently in the introduction? So this is before the voices come in. And definitely I'm hearing a semitone there. There's no octave jumps. There's no thirds or sixths coming up in there prominently. It's the semitone, so we can go ahead and tick that. Then our final question, the accompaniment begins with an ostinato pattern. Then in which line of the words does the shape of the ostinato change? So definitely this happens in line 5, where a rose is a rose and this isn't Vienna. So if you go ahead and just backtrack here in this video, you can go ahead and re-listen to that, but it's definitely happening in line 5. So if you go ahead and put that down, you will get your mark there. Now I don't know why the line is so long, the dotted line on which we need to write the number 5, because the number 5 doesn't take up a lot of space, even if you have a big handwriting. But it's only the number 5. I guess you could write out the word 5 if you want to, but it's actually not going to take up the full dotted line space there. So I hope that that helps regarding musicals and practice listening when it comes to your Cambridge IGCSE music paper.